Staring at herself in the mirror on the restroom door.
Hey, beautiful people.
Voices in her head that mirror what she's heard
Thursday.
before.
I haven't done a Seeds of Gratitude for a while, actually, and I really liked stopping into this space on Thursdays because it helped me to really be able to just identify the transition process and just kind of like where I'm at and how it's going by being able to highlight the things that I'm grateful for. But I think what happened, obviously, a lot of the things that I was grateful for was the transition period and the experiences of the transition. So I got more to be grateful for, and then it got tricky to find the gratitude in the midst of going through it all. So yeah, it's been quite the experience, to say the least. um, so today I just wanted to stop into this space to just put out into the universe what I'm grateful for with caution, because I know that it will be returned to me tenfold. One of the things that I'm actually really grateful for is just learning how strong I am. And even saying that, the human aspect of myself is quaking in my boots, because obviously putting gratitude out there for that will give me more experiences to show me how strong I am. And I'm a little bit shooketh, to say the least, of the universe sort of challenging me to see the beauty within my experiences in itself. But at the same time, I really feel as though it's important to be able to go through the process and just acknowledge what is and be grateful for the process. So I'm grateful for how much the universe is teaching me about how strong I am, because it's more than I actually thought that I was capable of. So I appreciate that. Another thing that I'm grateful for this week, I'm grateful for the opportunity to live in my authenticity. That's been a struggle, I think, my entire life. Being somebody who isn't of this world and being somebody, hey, beautiful, just planting my seeds of gratitude for this week so far. Feel free to let the universe know what you're grateful for as well. But yeah, I think that, being unconventional, I use that word, it's always been difficult to kind of like feel at ease with self. And when those types of situations where, you don't necessarily meet other people's expectations, and you don't necessarily, you're basically not them. It can be like really, really tricky to think and consider whether or not to continue being yourself. And I think what this week has taught me is that it's okay to be myself, and there's a significant purpose in being able to be myself, and there's good reason to be myself. And it's just important to be who I am, because everybody else is taken. Everybody else is living their own best lives and living in their own experiences of themselves. So why not be who you are? I think that that's what the universe has taught me this week, and I'm grateful for that, because it would have been easier for me to just conform, I guess, to what everybody else's perception of what my experience should be like based on their experiences. And I think that would have just taken me further off course, to the point where I would have lost myself trying to be somebody else. And I think the universe just gave me an opportunity this week to be my weird self. And I'm learning how to just love it. I'm learning how to appreciate my quirks and all of my kinks in all of the different random places of my personality, and just appreciate myself for it, and maybe help others to see the beauty in them as well, as opposed to kind of wanting to change me to be able to fit the mold of what they think that I should be. So I'm learning, actually, that's the next thing that I'm grateful for. That's the next seed that I'm grateful for. I'm learning how to communicate my love for myself to other people, so that they can openly express their love to me in a similar vibration. Because I guess before, I would have probably been very I would have just been in your face about it, and I think the universe is kind of teaching me how to be patient, and be kind and be gentle with myself, so that I can give the same energy to others, but also have that kind of energy return to me karmically. And it's been beautiful. I can feel like I'm doing an inside, my soul's crying on the inside right now, guys. I'm gonna try and like contain the emotions, but yeah, if there's anything that you're grateful for, I definitely recommend you put it out there into the universe, because sometimes like it's so easy when we're going through the challenges of life to speak about, like, you know, the things that we're not grateful for based on the things that aren't necessarily going our way, and it's a little bit more difficult to speak about the things that we are grateful for. And some of those things may come like in the most adverse situations, and I think even learning how to be grateful for the opportunity to live authentically, as the person that I am, that came with the adversity of being challenged. You know, the universe tested me this week, and the universe, I'm about to get emotional, so like forgive me, but it's just like an overwhelming sense of situation. But the universe was just like, you know, who are you, Shakima? And I was like, I'm Shakima, you know, very unsure of myself, very like, it's almost like I was still trying to fit the mold of that box that, you know, just society and people in general just kind of like expects you to live in, so that they can feel comfortable with their own experiences. And I think the universe just like taught me how to speak up this week. I'm sorry, I'm getting so emotional, but like it really allowed for me to learn how to use my voice and learn how to do that without having to like fight about it, because like I understood that it wasn't something that I was fighting just within myself, but it was also something that they were fighting within themselves, and them not necessarily understanding who they were, and, you know, them not necessarily understanding why they are the way that they are, or why they are who they are, and what amazing purpose there is for them in life. And like being able to just see that part of myself in the reflections, you know, that were challenging me to speak up. Like I wanted to do it for myself, but I felt like most importantly, like I really wanted to be able to do it for them as well, to be able to like show them like an example of that outside of themselves, so that they can somehow be inspired and motivated to like just live in the authenticity of who they are, and just like have a warm embrace to accept them like as they are, so that they can feel comfortable in their own skin enough to be able to like give that karmically to somebody else as well, to allow somebody else to just be who they are and accept them as they are. Didn't expect that I was gonna like get like super emotion in this space today, but I felt it coming, because the universe has given me so much this week, so much, and I'm so grateful for all the lessons that are shaping me and molding me and just teaching me more about who I am as an individual, and just allowing for me to get more and more comfortable in my skin. Like I think that's one of the biggest things on my gratitude list this week, just this experience that the universe is taking me through to just teach me how to be comfortable in my skin. And I'm learning that as I'm able to sort of like do that for myself, I'm able to like come into congregation of other beings that are living in that vibration of their experiences as well. And I don't have to keep doing this like confrontational experiences with, you know, other vibrations that may not necessarily be there on their journey. But I'm just really, really grateful to just be in a place where God, the universe, divine source can just shine its unconditional love through me and use me as a vessel. I think that that's what I'm really grateful for this week. You know, the fact that I've been able to put my ego to the side at times. And even if I have taken an opportunity to live in my ego, I kind of do it consciously, to where it's like I'm observing my ego and I'm saying, okay, ego, go on then, you know, have this experience, but be cautious, you know. And it allowed for me to not control my ego, because I don't believe I'm supposed to. I really, I guess throughout this week, I've just learned that it's about mastering it through observation, you know, and I'm grateful for that lesson actually. So it can help me to let go of my own control issues. And yeah, just learning how to surrender to the process this week. I'm sure the universe is going to test me on that, and give me more reasons to surrender, I guess, in the coming days of the week. But I accept it with gratitude nonetheless, and I appreciate the journey for what it is, because without the journey, the outcome is pointless, right? It's null and void. So like I'm learning how to really be grateful for the journey, because it is shaping and molding the outcome into what it's actually going to become. So yeah, just take the time to put anything that you're grateful for out there into the universe with caution, I'll say, because the things that we're grateful for, you know, the universe wants to give us more of that tenfold as well. And it seems like a lot of the things that I seem to be grateful for are very, very challenging aspects of the journey. So forgive me for the delay in being able to relaunch this, but the universe gave me so much. And it was really giving me an opportunity to break down the layers of myself so that I can continue to experience these spaces from a place of vulnerability, which is something that is difficult for the human ego to do. But the super ego, the higher states of consciousness, is really just all about being vulnerable for the process of the growth. So yeah, I'm just grateful overall. I think that's everything that's on my heart. I'm not really sort of feeling anything else. I feel like I poured it all out into this space. So I'm going to watch this space, guys, and see sort of what the universe gives back to me in terms of these seeds of gratitude. But just have a conversation with the universe, you know, really let the universe know what it is that you're grateful for, because when we kind of express these things out to the universe, it gets returned to us, but it also teaches us something about ourselves in the process. Like it's easy for us to be able to be grateful for, like, you know, the positive blessings, I guess. The negative blessings or the challenging blessings that show up as lessons, it's not so easy for us to receive those. But I think those are the things that I'm truly grateful for, like having gone through this week, because it's shaping and molding me. And I'm about to get emotional again, so forgive me, but I just continue to see how it's shaping and molding me into the version of myself that I'm sort of aspiring to become. And I'm grateful to the universe for that. You know, put it out there for yourself. What is it that you're grateful to the universe for? Because when you're able to put that out there, it's interesting to sort of see how the universe answers our calling, you know? Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Honestly, it's just like an overwhelming sense of like unconditional love from the universe, you know, and it just kind of like humbles my experience. It kind of humbles me in my experience, where it's like the universe like cares so much about me in ways that I don't yet care about myself, I guess. And it's a humbling experience to just see that there's something outside of yourself that loves you unconditionally, outside of your ability to love yourself conditionally. And it's heartwarming. Like, it's very, very overwhelming, and it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. One thing that I actually wanted to do in the space today as well, because I didn't get to do a reading for us today, but Venus is now effectively direct as of today, so we're going to be able to really experience love at a deeper level, based on all of the work that we've been doing in the last 6 weeks. And it's going to really allow for us to be able to create from that place of love. And like this, the moon went into Virgo around about 5:05 p.m. like UK time. I don't know what time that is globally, wherever you guys are in the world. But when the moon goes into Virgo, it's all about like being able to adapt, because Virgo is like an adaptable earth sign. So we're learning how to be able to just ride with the waves of the changes that are taking place in terms of our ability to manifest. And it is going to come with a lot of positive, you know. I'm going to choose to look at it as positives, because, you know, karma isn't just about negative energetic exchanges. It's also about positive karma, and what we give out into the universe is going to come back to us. So I want to do a reading for us, guys, for today's Testimonial Thursday, to just see what the advice is for us as we navigate through this Venus direct energy. Because the beautiful thing is Venus is now going to stay direct for the next 18 months. So we're going to get an opportunity to navigate through this sort of energy for well over a year. And yeah, I think it would just be nice to really sort of see where the universe is trying to take us. So I'm just going to pull a quick card for us and sort of see what is the advice. Okay. what the universe is sort of saying to us for this Venus direct energy is that we're going through a sisterhood of the rose. There is a beauty in being able to devote ourselves, self-realizations of within. Absolutely, absolutely, David. I think there was so much that I've been able to learn about myself in the last week, and this card coming out for the Venus direct energy, sisterhood of the rose, like, to me it just kind of speaks about community. It just speaks about a light-spirited community where we're really able to sort of come together as a collective and just shift our vibration, guys. Shift our lower reflections of ourselves, not because they're bad, but because we've simply outgrown them. We've evolved to a place where we can see the beauty in the exchanges of our reality, and those experiences continue to make us more of who we already are, just really awakening us to the fact that we've always been those people. One of the things that I'm seeing at the back end of this energy that we're going to be navigating through for this Venus direct energy over the course of the next 18 months is it's going to be a very transformational time in terms of our DNA activation, right? As we shift our vibration, it activates our DNA as well, and it charges the cells of our DNA up. And what I'm seeing is that, being in a position where we're observing the triggers as opposed to reacting to them, and going deeper into the triggers to understand who and what exactly is triggering us and why. We speak about anger being a surface emotion, but in essence, most emotions are surface emotions. Jealousy is a surface emotion. We've got to go deeper into it to identify why we're jealous and what it is. And I'm speaking about jealousy because that's one of the energies that continues to be repetitive. Whenever I do readings, whenever I'm looking at what's going on in mass consciousness, jealousy is one of the bigger vibrations that we're navigating through. And at the top of it's layered emotion. So at the top of the emotion is anger, and beneath it is jealousy, and then beneath jealousy it's actually a lot of disapproval of ourselves that is actually taking place, a desire to do more, a need to do more with ourselves that's taking place. And that's basically what jealousy is saying. I actually want to be able to do more, because the things that we see in other people, both positive and negative, is somehow a reflection of us, because it's just a reflection of what's going on in the mirror neurons in the back of our subconscious mind. And if we can observe them and see, maybe they're an extreme to some of the vibrations that we hold. So they may be the type of person, basically, we might be a little bit more able to, we've probably mastered our own ability to navigate through the vibration of anger, for instance, and they may still be on a process of learning how to master the element of that spirit within themselves, right? But it's still something showing us about ourselves, because we have anger, it lives in our liver, unfortunately. Even when people project it at us, it's like it charges our liver with that kind of energy, and then we store that energy, and then as we learn to master the energy of anger, we become better at not being able to project it, but we also have to learn how to be balanced in not being passive with the energy, because passive anger is internally destructive. It kind of breaks down a lot of the other organs as well. It kind of toxifies our body, basically, and allows for us to circulate in that energy. So it's almost like if somebody's kind of showing up and they're angry around you, maybe the universe is kind of saying, hey, you perhaps still are working through pacifying your anger. Maybe it's a case of being able to just say, look, I'm angry. This is what's making me angry right now. This is what's triggering anger inside of me, so that we don't have to pacify it anymore, so that we can just express it and, live authentically, unapologetically. Because I think what I've learned in the last week that I'm so, so grateful for is that we don't have to apologize for who we are. We don't need to feel guilty for being who we are, and we don't need to feel like it's a crime for being who we are. It's just that everybody else is taken, man. We can't be anybody else. We can only be who we are. And if we can just take an opportunity to live authentically in that, we can only continue to grow more in who we already are. And I feel like with this 2020 vision, right, this 2020 scope of this year, everybody thought that this year was going to be something completely different, right? Absolutely live authentically, unapologetically, because what 2020 has really taught, I guess myself, and I can't speak for anybody else, is that, people are going to be able to express themselves, and they should have a right to express themselves. However, it reflects for them. It's just showing wherever they are on their journey, right? And if somebody is kind of in their little cocoon, right, and they're going through their evolution process of going from being a caterpillar to the butterfly that they already are, the only way, like, because we don't know what's happening whilst they're in their cocoon, the only way that we can know what's going on is by them being able to express that to us, and that requires them being able to be vocal, and that requires us being able to be willing to communicate. And sometimes we hear people with our ears, but then the information gets distorted in our minds through the human ego and then goes out the other ear. But if we can hear a person with our ears and allow for our heart to be able to interpret what they're saying, and I feel like that really gives us an opportunity to be able to receive them. And when you receive a person, like, you can actually listen to them, you can tune into their channel of emotions, like really listen to what they're saying and not just hear what they're saying, like really understand it. Because, like, as a quote unquote psychic, I get a lot of like stigma for like claiming to be a psychic, or people's fears of them being exactly what I am. And I say to people all the time, I'm no different from yourself. I mean, being psychic is how we're able to experience love, right? If I give love, then the only way that a person's going to be able to receive that love is through their psychic senses. We talk about the 5 physical senses, but we never really speak about the 8 spiritual senses that makes us all psychic. And I try to be able to like gracefully put across to people that the only difference between myself and somebody else is the fact that I live authentically, and the fact that as an avatar, I'm psychic. I am attuned to different stations of emotions and frequencies, and we're all the same thing. Some people are just more attuned than others, and that's the only difference. I think when we can take an opportunity to just listen and tune into our hearts and tune into ourselves and tune into like the core of our being, it will really help us to be able to just be grateful, man. Like, really be grateful for who we are, not because we're better than anybody else, but because we are truly unique as we are. And if there was already a you in the universe, there would be no need for you to be here. So all I'd say to anybody today, in terms of the seeds that I'm planting in this space, is just gratitude for being able to live authentically as I am. Be who you are, and live in that version of yourself with conviction, because the more you live in that version of yourself authentically, the more the universe will show you that you're not necessarily who you think you are, and teach you how to grow into the authentic perspective of who you are as a spiritual being having your human experience. Okay, and I don't want to preach at you guys. I kind of just felt like I needed to share something today, and it was an emotional roller coaster. So thank you guys for just sort of sticking it out and hanging in there with me. But just plant whatever seeds you're grateful for. You may not want to share it in this space today, but after you finish this moment, have a conversation with your heart and see what your heart is really grateful for in terms of the journey that you've navigated through for this week. And sometimes, it's easy for us to sort of like engage with our mind and see our thoughts. It's a little bit more difficult for us to engage with our hearts, because there's a lot in there, I'm not going to lie. When we go through life, our hearts definitely gets shaped and molded in the process. But have a conversation with your heart. If I can invite you to do anything in this space, I would say that, because what we're going to be going through for this next 18 months is a transformational period. We're going through a transformational period of activating our DNA through being triggered. And the triggers are what's going to allow for us to be able to see more of ourselves, to live more authentically. All these little sparks of light that you're sort of seeing, sort of trickling down into the space, these can be identified as little cells within, the coding of our DNA that is really trying to be activated through the process. And the only way to be able to do that is to unbound ourselves, is to let go of past contracts of old patterns, old cycles, old belief systems that are no longer serving us. Okay, again, I didn't anticipate to sort of be this long in this space, so I'm going to leave you guys with a final card. They're asking me to sort of they're asking me to pull a different card for you guys, so I'm just going to grab a different deck. This is an angel answers card for us, so let's see what the angels are advising for us as we navigate through the next 18 months of this Venus direct energy, because they are going to be the ones helping us to sort of navigate through the process, consciously and subconsciously. Okay. The advice for us, I guess, at this time is that there are going to be new opportunities for us to choose new directions. And when the no's show up for us, just choose a new course of direction. It's not that the universe doesn't want what you want for yourself. The universe is basically giving you the best possible opportunity to manifest that intended outcome. Okay? And it's very, very difficult for our ego sometimes to be grateful. But you'll thank the universe once you're at the end of it 18 months from now. Okay, guys? I'm going to love you guys and leave it there for you guys because I feel like I'm all emotionally talked out. But thank you guys for hanging in there and sticking it out with me. Thank you for being awesome. And God bless you guys. As per usual, guys, I'm sending you nothing but love, light, and positive intentions for the journey ahead. So I will see you guys, I guess, as and when the universe aligns for our meeting again. Thank you, beautiful spirits. Mwah. Namaste. God bless. Take care, guys. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more.